Alright, so we're going to do a Kell's Fall run on ultimate negative 40 power for an A rank. So unfortunately when you're above 500 you basically have to be anywhere from 31 to 50 under power to get an A rank, depending on your power level and then the active modifiers, so it's pretty rough. Pinnacle Ops usually aren't worth it, so we're running the Sunbreaker, Hammer Strike, Fusion Grenade, Soul Invictus, Roaring Flames, Empyrean Ashes, Searing Resolve, same as always, Sturm Drain, and Quick Fang, all bugged for extra damage. Artifact, and then Ash and Wake with high grenade stat for improved fusion grenades that do massive damage, and infinite grenades as long as you're getting kills with them, with the Sturm Drain combo for buffed abilities, melee and grenade. So yeah, like I was saying, not really worth running like the Pinnacle Ops and stuff because you have to be negative 40 usually. So if you're approaching like 508, 509, then you're like negative 31, negative 32, but if you're starting every 10 power, you go back to 40 under power, and then some of the modifiers force you to go 50 under power if they don't have some of the better 20 adders that give you 5 challenge instead of 4, but they also increase damage considerably taken by you. So like 66.6% on this is like arc. It's crazy. Yeah, I just wanted to test the sword on this. So this is probably one of the better Pinnacle Ops for the sword glitch, because you can get right on the bosses and then do the massive damage that you need. So if you're running a light sword, they're bugged currently to do massive damage if you have no ammo. A light attack, a jump with the light attack with no ammo does insane damage. And then Sturm Drain, get a kill with Drain to overcharge Sturm, switch to Sturm, and then use your abilities for almost 4 times damage. But the sword is the Insano style damage one. So yeah, I was gonna compare this to the Bickrolls Castle Grandmaster Conquest, but being that it's avant-garde modifier and that you can't use the sword, so unfortunate. I was gonna say do that while you can before they nerf it next week on the 23rd, but it does not apply to Grandmaster Conquest, unfortunately. Stupid avant-garde modifier. Yeah, being 40 under power is kind of rough, especially in these Pinnacle Ops where you take a ton of damage from all these enemies and you die pretty quickly. So even when you can do tons of damage with these bugged weapons, you also take a ton of damage and can die very, very quickly. Now Phil's bugged health on top of that, where you could take massive damage, be a different story, but you can put out tons of damage, but you also have to be very, very close to do it with that sword. So puts you in quite a bit of danger, but like I said, Kell's Fall is one of the better ones because you can get basically right up on the bosses before they even spawn in and just go to town on them. Whereas a lot of other ones, you can't really get that close to them, you know? So I just wanted to test the sword here. See how it does in negative 40, you know? It does very well. Yeah, hopefully Bungie gets rid of that whole new gear avant-garde thing soon. They said they're going to, but I don't know exactly when they plan on doing that. Ash and Wake you can't use in anything that's avant-garde, so all the Grandmaster Conquests. Let people use what they want to use, you know? We got all our Revenants, we're in powers, so now we can take out the Ogres, but sword's probably not the best for this. You gotta get really close and you're probably gonna die. Probably gonna switch to Sturm Drain here, so I can hit him with a grenade. But I gotta get a kill with Drain first. That guy was hurt, so that's lucky. Oh, but I don't have a grenade though, so. Yeah, gotta be careful of that arc damage, because taking 66.6% extra arc damage. Alright, so just gonna take out the other ogre too, and then go straight on the boss. Hopefully the sword kills him quickly. Nice. 2-piece. Our first hit took like 3/4 of his health. You can also buff the sword damage too, the light swords, if you have high weapon stat or high melee stat, because hitting with a sword with no ammo apparently counts as both melee and sword. And then anything that boosts melee or weapon damage will also help to improve the damage even more. So you can get that sword damage really, really high, but I haven't really spec'd anything into it for that because it's not really necessary unless you're going for a super high health boss and you're looking to one phase everybody. It's only good for a few more days anyway, so no real point creating entire builds around it, you know. But yeah, being that 500 plus basically requires you to be 40 under power almost the entire time. It's kind of rough, so I'm glad they have these damage bugs like Sturm and Drang and Sword. Otherwise the grind would be considerably longer doing such little damage. I'll be careful of these creepers too. Being able to do a ton of damage is fun. So if you take a ton of damage but you're able to do a ton of damage, that's fun. Not taking a ton of damage and doing very, very little damage the way Bungie likes to do it, being so far under power. At least there's a risk reward to it, you know. You can do a ton of damage, but you gotta be careful, otherwise you'll take a ton of damage. That's not how Bungie wants you to play. They want you to be super weak in the damage you do and take tons of damage. That's not fun to me. One, that's it. Get out of here. Ah, these exploders. These exploders, danger. Oh, you didn't jump, you didn't jump. No. Yeah. I love how literally just touching an enemy will completely destroy all momentum you have, and you could be full speed ahead and then you touch an enemy and it just completely stops you dead in your tracks. Physics, you know? So yeah, exploders are very dangerous because you're taking a ton of damage. They can kill you pretty easily, even just with splash damage. I probably shouldn't have wasted that on him. It worked out though. Melee's giving me grenade energy back, so. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Oh, luckily I still have an extra overcharge. I don't have to get another kill with Drang. Man was just minding his own business, dude. Yeah, shanked in the back. Wizards on the left while we're waiting, and then goodbye. That's bad for my friends too if they want to play with me, because they have to be severely underpowered too to play with me, since it raises to your high power level, you know, and then you have limited revives. So that 500 plus grind is rough, even on your friends. Okay, gotta be careful there because they don't despawn just yet, even though the boss did. I wish you could play together, but keep the like difficulty separate, you know. So if they're underpowered, they're still playing at their whatever their modifiers would be. Their scoring would be based on their modifiers, not mine. But it's probably too hard for Bungie, so just makes it less enjoyable for people to play together if the higher powered player has to be significantly underpowered to be able to get an A rank. So then everybody else has to be significantly underpowered to get an A rank too, you know. Game is meant to be played together with friends, but a lot of the mechanics say otherwise. Oh, you can't dodge. You can't dodge it, bro. Oh, they didn't spawn yet. Waste. Made me waste my grenade. Oh, bad throw. Pinnacle bears the attack, so we go through. Oh crap, I have ammo. Dang it. I did not realize I had sword ammo. Screwed me over, bro. I wish you could, like, not accept heavy ammo. I don't think I picked up a brick. It must have just gave me ammo somewhere. Now I don't have stern overcharge either. Yep. It's rough taking damage like that. Regular grenade does no damage, bro. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Alright, we're good. Break the mirror behind this guy. Sword. 3 hits. Nice. Yeah. Not too bad, but still die because you take tons of damage, so not the best. Probably not worth running it. It's even 12.5 minutes. Still not as fast as solo ops, so for 2 rewards.